Today, somewhere on Earth is off to discover Ecuador. This little South American country is bordered by the Pacific Ocean with its long sandy beaches. The Andes cut across north to south. This is the realm of majestic volcanoes. To the east lies the vast Amazon basin and its ageless forest. Xavier left Perpignan in France 20 years ago. This ornithologist moved to Ecuador for its incredible biodiversity. Always on the lookout for new discoveries, his curiosity has drawn him to the roof of Ecuador. Jorge is a ULM pilot. Whenever the weather permits, this adventurer takes to the air to slalom through the clouds and mountain peaks. Today, he'll be helping his friend Armando study a rather surprising animal, the mountain tapir. On the Rio Napo, the rivermen live in harmony with nature. Teo is setting off for the heart of the Amazon. With one foot in his ancestral culture and another in today's modern world, Teo is well placed to understand this hostile environment.
Look at all the wonders we have here, all this beauty. We should be careful with it and cherish it. Then the Mother Earth will thank us and take care of us.
Maria. Venga, 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 venga. Maria.
Come, Maria.
No responde la Maria.
Maria's not answering.
Maria, Maria.
Angel Paz is a farmer. When he bought this plot of land in the forest, he did what everyone else here does. He started to clear it for planting. But then one day he discovered a new family, the creatures of the forest, hundreds of birds that he has managed to tame.
Shakira.
And since, he has established a rather surprising relationship with them.
Her name is Shakira. I called her that, actually, because she dances like that young Colombian performer. They're part of my family. Like Maria, the bird we were looking for this morning, a giant ampita. I named her Maria, which is my wife's name.
Angel lives in the cloud forest at an altitude of 1,400 meters. This wondrous world is inhabited by gigantic trees and a myriad of colorful birds. When his friend Xavier pays him a visit, Angel is only too happy to share what he's managed to preserve. His passion for the wildlife all around him has changed his life. Now he earns his living by taking bird lovers on tours to observe his family of feathered friends. Thanks to endless patience, the birds respond to his songs and come to eat out of his hand.
It's such a kick with birds like these. It's enough to give you the shivers. These are the kind of spots you can share with people who have the same passion. This makes it twice as much fun, because you're not alone. You think, I'm not crazy. There are other people who are a little off the wall too. It's a good feeling. It's reassuring.
Xavier, a Frenchman from Perpignan, has been living in Ecuador for 20 years. This is where he truly discovered the realm of birds and became an ornithologist. Ecuador is home to 13% of the world's bird species, 1,600 in all. Xavier is now the director of a natural reserve on the fringes of the Amazon. Its goal is to protect this incredible biodiversity. He spends most of his time in the forest, alert for the slightest flutter of a wing.
In any case, man has an animal instinct. So the act of tracking down these birds to observe them or to photograph them, I think it's a throwback to the hunter instinct. It's an attempt to get closer to nature. In this case, it's for a good cause. With others, it's for a bad cause. But I think that deep down, the physiological drive is really the same.
Punta Blanca, a little village situated on the equator, looks out onto the Pacific Ocean. Xavier is making a little visit to his friends, Elsa and Maria, two Ecuadorians who have become fisherwomen with a philosophical bent.
I love freedom. Where are you going? What for? Where have you been? No way. Ask me no questions. I grab my things and I take off where I like. I don't depend on anyone.
When Xavier gets together with his friends, they love to spend hours discussing the state of the world, to the lapping of the ocean waves on the shore.
For me, that phrase pretty much sums up Ecuador. We don't earn much, but we do have fun. It's the festive aspect, a bit Latino. The preference for an enjoyable way of life rather than a rich way of life. It's not what most people are after. You're much more aware of the days and years going by when you're in that frame of mind, rather than trying to fight against time.
Here in Ecuador, Xavier has found what he was looking for. Big-hearted people, a rapidly developing country, and above all, lush, thriving wildlife. He's always on the lookout for that rare bird, and he's ready to go hundreds of kilometers to get a shot of a frog in the Amazonian forest or a migratory bird on its way through the Andes. Today, he's headed to Antisana, a volcano close to 6,000 meters high, to meet some glaciologists from Quito.
This route we're following here snakes back and forth, north and south, across the equator. It's very symbolic of Ecuador itself. Really one of the best representations you could get. We're right in the middle of the world. It's funny because I went from Perpignan, which, according to Salvador Dali, is the center of the world, to this place, the middle of the world. There's always that same feeling that has a kind of hold on me.
Xavier is now crossing the Andes through a barren zone of majestic volcanoes and glaciers. Here, up at 4,000 meters, one finds a totally different landscape.
You pass from one landscape to another, one atmosphere to another, one extreme temperature to another, in the blink of an eye. It's really wild. It's fascinating, and you don't get tired of it. You can do it again and again, and each time you'll see the landscape in a different light, with a different atmosphere, with new animals, new colors. It's so rich.
Xavier is nearing Antisana. For several years now, he has been working with a group of glaciologists who are measuring the effects of the climate change.
Basically, it's thanks to my nosy character that I got to know these glaciologists working on the Antisana volcano. Going out in the field with them to help in their observations of these glaciers has given me a better understanding of how this ecosystem works. And it's allowed me to assimilate a lot of complementary information. And that information will help me in my own conservation work.
Gustavo, an accomplished mountaineer, is leading the climb. Juan and Xavier have to follow the pace set by the high mountain guide. "5,100 meters up, the three men attain their first objective, one of Ecuador's highest weather stations.
I collect the temperature and humidity readings recorded by the stations. We have to come and do this job every month. We'll analyze the data later in the lab. What happened? Did it snow? What kind of temperatures have we had? The hardest part is just coming up here.
The climbers continue to make their way up Antisana. Juan and Xavier are aiming to reach a corridor of ice 5,300 meters up. Once there, they'll take a core sample from the heart of the glacier. Every year they come here to study the evolution of the ice and listen to the creaking of this immense frozen torrent.
This mountain is situated in the eastern part of Ecuador. It's under the influence of both the Amazon and the Pacific. We even have certain evidence proving that the climatic phenomena like El Niño and La Niña have an effect on the amount of precipitation this mountain gets. We work on site in the mountains as much as in the laboratory. But in the end, our natural lab is right here. This part here is more recent snow. It's fresher. Here, it's older, more compact. This represents about 1 year of precipitation. I just love all this. If I could work up here every day, it would be ideal. When I climb this volcano, my face just lights up. This mountain is part of me.
Antisana is one of my favorite spots. Firstly, because it's so beautiful. It's really quite extraordinary. It's a very rugged climb, but at the same time very beautiful. So it's a trade-off. Plus, at the base of the glacier, there's an unbelievable biodiversity. People who come to Ecuador and fall in love with it do so because of the amazing landscapes and the generosity of nature, which has given us all this vast space and riches.
Xavier has found here the vistas that fulfill his dreams of freedom. He has found his place at 0 degrees latitude on the equator. Traveling the wilderness of Ecuador is a unique experience. Jorge is an adventurer of the sky and a pioneer of ultralight aviation in South America. He's been flying over his country with its limitless horizons for 27 years.
It gives you such an intense feeling of freedom. You can enjoy the scenery and fly wherever you want without worrying about the road or traffic. With this plane, you're free. It's not at all expensive, and you can go wherever large planes can't, and land on much shorter runways. You're flying with the wind, blowing through your fingers and on your face. Ecuador is a small country with a lot of diversity. You're in these 6,000-meter mountains, and an hour later you can be down on the Pacific coast, on the beach, or in the tropical forest. It's very rich.
Jorge is a pilot, writer, and high mountain guide. A photographer as well. His books on Ecuador from the sky have made him famous throughout the country. Now he's preparing for his next flight into the Paramo, a mountainous zone 4,000 meters up. There he's going to meet a friend, Armando, a naturalist.
Armando called me. I have to make a flight. He's got a problem with the instrument he uses to locate the wild animals. I'm going to bring him a spare cable up near Ayacachi. Then I'll come back.
Ya vuelvo.
Jorge, the self-taught aviator, built his first ULM in his own hangar. He learned how to fly without an instructor. He was a pioneer 30 years ago. He flew above the Andes in his ULM all the way down to Patagonia, the southernmost point of South America. Jorge is flying over the Paramo. It would be impossible for him to land in these swampy mountains. He spots Armando from the plane and decides to fly in closer. He has to drop a little parachute with the equipment that will allow Armando to carry on his mission. Armando and his team are trying to locate mountain tapirs, the emblematic mammal of the Paramo. Some of them have been equipped with radio transmitters. This timid animal is an endangered species, but Armando hopes that by studying its behavior, he will be able to do a better job of protecting them.
Without this cable, it's practically impossible to locate the tapir. We know he's in this area, but it's going to take some time to find out exactly where. But then he might get wind of us, and we won't be able to get close. Without the radio localization, we can't do anything. So many thanks to Jorge, who managed to fly up here despite the bad weather conditions. But he's really an ace. The cable is really very important. Now that we have it, we'll be able to localize the tapir and track him down. I hope we'll be able to observe him without disturbing him.
The ULM is an all-terrain machine. Thanks to it, Jorge can do precious favors for those working in the country's more isolated regions. Jorge and his ULM have helped a good number of scientists in their research. He takes up archaeologists on observation flights over the Inca sites, volcanologists to get in close to the still active volcanoes, and biologists to spot birds nesting in the canopy of the Amazonian forest.
It's total freedom. There's no private property up in the sky. No stoplights, no reckless drivers. If you're curious about what's on the other side of the mountain, you just go there. If you want to take a look at the bottom of a valley, you fly down. You're living a form of freedom. Plus, it allows you to see the beauty of the world from a different point of view. This motor is adapted for flying. It's totally reliable because the vital parts are backed up with a spare. But it's rather simple. You have to take good care of it because if something happens up in the air, you can't just pull over and take a look under the hood. But it's rather simple and very dependable. It runs well. She's a good gal.
Flying up at 5,000 meters in such a light craft is not something just any pilot can do. Jorge has the humility of those who are living out their dreams to the fullest and who aren't afraid of anything. Now Armando's detector is working. He and Jorge have taken to the air to locate the mountain tapirs fitted with radio transmitters. Not much is known about this strange, rare animal. Armando is the world's specialist on spectacled bears and mountain tapirs, two endangered species. The area Jorge and Armando just flew over is a reserve. But elsewhere, the mountain tapir is hunted. These two men are studying all the wild animals living in these protected but inaccessible regions.
Jorge has been a great help in locating the animals we're studying. He gives me their coordinates and tells me if they're on the move, where he has detected them. Frankly, the only way to pick up the signal in this region is the ULM. It's not possible otherwise, and it's very expensive to rent a helicopter.
I take pictures while I'm flying. I also use this opportunity to listen for the signals from the bears. Sometimes I'll go up without Armando, just to see if the bears say hello.
In just a few minutes, clouds moving in from the Amazon have heaped up on the Paramo Mountains, and a storm obscures the horizon. The flight with Jorge has allowed Armando to home in on the mountainside where a tapir is living. He's now continuing his pursuit on foot. The terrain is tough going, with high grass and pockets of icy water. At last, they arrive at the mountain tapir's sanctuary.
It's really close now. It's very important to study this animal because we know so little about it. If we were to know it a little better, we might be able to protect it and save it.
The Paramo lies on the fringe of two worlds, between sky and earth. Armando, in his study of the last mountain tapers, is merely passing through these age-old landscapes that will remain forever untamed. Jorge, on board his ULM, never tires of flying over these territories which he finds so fascinating. And even though he knows that he's merely skimming the surface of these vast virgin expanses, he is fulfilling his dreams of adventure. Teo is on his way home to his village after a long scientific expedition on the Rio Napo. Teo is one of the best guides of the Amazon, one of the few to dare travel these rivers that snake deep into the jungle. He'll be collecting plants from the riverbanks all along the way home.
For me, there's nothing better than living an adventure like this. We see the wonders of the Amazon, which is like the eye of the world, the center of the earth. And if we don't take advantage of it now, all this will be lost with the passing of time. All this vegetation will disappear. Here, nature's at her very best.
When Teo was 20, he had the opportunity to leave his country for England. In Leeds, he discovered another jungle, the city. He studied natural sciences and earned a diploma in biology. Then a few years later, he came back to Ecuador, where he quickly resumed his place in his native community on the banks of the Rio Napo, deep in the forest. Navigating this river is a lesson in patience and solitude. It winds through the Amazon for over 1,000 kilometers. It takes its source in the west, in the glaciers of the Andes, and meets the Amazon River in Peru. Teo's pirogue is the ideal boat for traveling down the river. He has christened it Hauira Kausai, go like the wind. It's a long and dangerous trip down the river. There are many obstacles, and they're constantly shifting. Sandbanks and submerged tree trunks become mortal traps. Teo in the prow keeps his eyes glued to the surface of the river. He's looking for the best path through the water and guiding Claudio, the pilot. And here's what happens most of the time. The water level is very low. Teo has to pull the boat along the shore. It's the only way to get past the shallow sandbank. And here is the gateway to the vast Amazon basin. This is the world's largest rainforest, 1.5 times the size of Europe. The Amazon is a legend. It looks like a vast green poncho rolling off into the endless horizon. An El Dorado coveted for its riches, it evokes both a green inferno and paradise lost. The Amazon is menaced by deforestation and the extraction of oil. For years now, the indigenous communities like Teos have been organizing and taking action for the recognition of their ancestral rights. Once nomads of the forest, they have gradually become the main defenders of this green continent. Termites are a delicacy for piranhas. The little predators serve as bait to catch bigger ones. Today's menu, Amazon piranha.
Ay, 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 mierda, se me fue la grande, loco, chucha.
It's over 40 degrees, and the sweltering heat beats down like a hammer on the men and nature. The Amazonian jungle may appear harsh and inhospitable, yet for Teo and his companions, it's like a childhood friend, a land of plenty, all within easy reach.
Me siento feliz porque estoy en el centro de
I'm happy here because I'm living in the lungs of the earth, in the center. No pollution, no buildings, no skyscrapers. All you can see are huge trees, incredible lagoons, unspoiled rivers, like this one here.
There's no relief from the heat here, even after the sun goes down. With the darkness, a different world is unveiled. To get back to his village, Teo crosses the Panacocha Lagoon, a labyrinth of channels, lakes, and flooded forest. Water, light, and a world of exuberant greenery. Life is bursting out here in all its forms. The lagoon is an eerie mirror, reflecting the image of an age-old, inaccessible garden.
To carry through this kind of adventure, it's really important, first off, that we all trust one another. You have to have a tightly knit group. We have to be able to anticipate what needs to be done and prepare very carefully for the expedition to be a success. Because it may look easy, but in the jungle, you have to make sacrifices and sweat for the group to keep functioning smoothly and to get what you're after.
Three centuries ago, the early explorers also experienced the hardships of an adventure in the Amazon. In 1736, a French research expedition led by Charles-Marie de la Condamine landed in Ecuador. They came to verify whether the Earth was a perfect sphere or not. And they paid a very heavy toll for the measurements that they carried out. The expedition was ravaged by tropical diseases. For the return journey to France, La Condamine undertook the tremendous gamble of heading east across the Amazon jungle. The explorers, with their native guides, had to survive in the heart of the forest. They followed the rivers down to the Amazon and eventually reached Brazil. During this return trip, Charles-Marie de la Condamine mapped the rivers of the region and made a detailed description of the cinchona tree, which yields quinine used to prevent malaria. He also discovered the rubber tree and the usage of curare. The expedition would last 10 years. At the heart of native spirituality are strong links between man, nature, and the cosmos. This culture is deeply ingrained in Teo. In the jungle, he feels the force of the spirits that dwell there. He recalls the legends that his mother passed on to him as she would drink guayusa, a brew of forest plants. This tradition is a time-honored ritual. It's the moment for the elders to relate the stories that continue to forge the native culture. The shamans always invoke Pachamama, the sacred Earth Mother.
They say that the goddess Pachamama has the power to petrify the animals of the forest. This goddess will return when the earth can no longer bear what we've been inflicting on her. She will come back as a very old person with a long beard.
And then she will release all the petrified animals who will exterminate the humans.
This indigenous spiritual vision allows one to understand how the world was before and how to live better in today's world as well. These stories tell how, at the beginning, Pachamama had blessed our planet. She's the one who created things as they are for us. This harmony of nature, man and animal. I firmly believe in this vision, which has been handed down to us through these stories.
Teo's mother has asked him to collect certain specific plants. For a long time, the communities of the Amazon kept the secrets of medicinal plants to themselves. Even now, all the communities on the Rio Napo still use these natural remedies.
Look, this one's good. Go ahead. Make a cut here.
What we do is collect the sap of this tree. We use it as a natural medicine. It can be used to treat malaria and diabetes. We call it dragon's blood.
This is one of the most useful trees in the Amazon. It has a number of virtues. For example, you can use it to heal wounds. You do like this, and it becomes a cream. It's also good as protection from the sun. Plus, with 1, 2, maximum 3 drops of sap, you can purify 1 liter of water.
Aquí está uno. Vamos a sacar acá.
Here we have a very special tree of the Amazon. This species of palm tree grows straight up to benefit from the sunlight. But if another tree overshadows it and takes the light, it will start to move. It can move up to 60 centimeters a year. The pregnant women here use it during labor because it helps dilate the cervix and ease the birth. It's one of the best natural remedies we have around here. Nowadays, the younger generation doesn't care about medicinal plants. They want what's easy. They just go to the pharmacy. If they have a stomach ache, for example, they buy pills. Whereas here, there's so much more, and it's natural, no chemicals.
Sin químico.
The modern world has been knocking at the Amazon's door for quite a while now. And today, Teo's life balances between these two opposing cultures that he would like to unite.
I see things from the indigenous point of view. I see a dim future for Pachamama, our Earth Mother. If man doesn't protect her, our planet will explode like a bomb. Look at all the wonders we have here, all this beauty. We should be careful with it and cherish it. Then Pachamama will thank us and take care of us.
Guatemala is one of Latin America's loveliest countries, a colorful land rich in history where half the population is of Maya origin. That enlightened and mysterious pre-Columbian civilization disappeared during the first millennium AD. But even to this day, the secrets of the Mayas continue to intrigue the whole world. The Laguna del Tigre is a last frontier, the realm of monkeys, crocodiles, and snakes. With its rich diversity of climate and landscapes, Guatemala is also known as the land of eternal spring. Beyond the volcanoes in the heart of the tropical forests, or on one of the world's most stunning lakes, Guatemala everywhere offers the promise of encounters and a journey that opens the doors to a fascinating world.
Chalín, Chalín. ¡Eso!
The first time I came to Guatemala, I was working for an agency, a photo agency in New York. It really touched me. It moved me. So 1 month later, I took time and I came back by myself. This changed me deeply, my perspective on everything. What am I doing? Just rush, push, shoot, pay, go, up, down. I'm missing everything in life. I said, I'm moving to Guatemala. And everyone said, you're crazy. And I thought, yeah, probably. But I like being crazy.
Lake Atitlan is one of Joanne Trimper Garucho's favorite spots. She's an American photographer who moved to Guatemala 12 years ago, and everyone calls her Gigi. Her camera is her traveling companion and her catalyst for meeting people. It's her way of exploring the universe of the Maya.
As a photographer, what I get here from the people is authentic. Where everyone, I think, that sees a picture recognize a part of themselves in this. It's real. It's something that people are missing in the Western world. So if I can capture this little piece and remind people who they are, and that we're all one people, we're all the same. And it's not a watch or the Chinese shoes or the clothes or the expensive hair, and it's living, and they give me life. And I like to share that with whoever gets to see it. Hopefully some people get to see it.
What's that?
It's a carpa.
Carpa.
For frying?
Yes.
Breaded?
Yes.
With garlic or plain?
As you like.
I'll go buy some firewood and we'll grill them.
I don't shoot people that I don't know, but at the same time, it gives me a tremendous opportunity to meet people. There should always be some sort of exchange. So, they're giving to me open-heartedly, and when the pictures sell, not all of them sell. Sometimes they do. Sometimes it takes 5 years. But no matter how long or where, I always go back to the people. There should always be an exchange in life, reciprocity, giving and taking.
Gigi still has a lot of exploring to do in her adopted country. From Lake Atitlan, the Maya's sacred lake, to the range of volcanoes, from the tropical forest to the Caribbean and Pacific coasts, Guatemala is a land of 1,000 facets and a gateway to mystery. Today, Gigi is on Ernesto's land in the heart of the Altiplano, the highlands. She hasn't come to take photos. Here, at more than 1,000 meters altitude, is where they grow what the Maya call the food of the gods. This is what Gigi has come for. The cocoa pods are ripe.
Se usa una tijera, ¿verdad?
Sí. Pero como no tenemos tijera.
¿Lo abrimos?
Shall we open it?
Sí.
Go ahead.
Aquí mismo.
Here?
Uy, ya estuvo.
Está...
Careful. The pod is very thick.
Look, how beautiful.
Eso es.
Qué belleza. Va.
This is what the squirrels eat.
I'm a squirrel. There's nothing tastier in the world. That's why they call this the food of the gods.
The food of the gods. La comida de los dioses. No quiero otro cacao.
This is the only cocoa I want. No other. It's heavenly. When you taste it, you have the true flavor of real chocolate. This chocolate tastes like fruit, something tropical. All I do is grind it. It's wonderful because you're eating all this nature, a taste of the earth.
Ernesto's family has been running this finca for 5 generations. The 350-hectare farm produces cocoa, coffee, milk, bananas, and firewood. They've been using the same farm machines here for decades.
This coffee is going to India.
To India? It's an awful lot.
And here's your cocoa.
The latest harvest.
Gigi is not only a photographer. Recently, she started making chocolate from Ernesto's cocoa beans.
Wow. Está fenomenal.
Gigi has put down roots in Antigua, the former capital of Guatemala. Born in New York of an American father and a Spanish mother, she was raised in Mexico, then Brazil. Her multicultural childhood is a good basis for her life in several worlds. This photographer has already lived many lives, and there are more to come. Gigi was 20 when she moved back to the United States. She studied photography and settled in Los Angeles, where she became a dancer. 10 years in show business, rubbing shoulders with American pop stars, a bohemian life of fiestas and follies, life in the fast lane, with all its risks. Then one fine day, she turned the page on LA, went back to New York in photography, until her momentous encounter with Guatemala.
New harvest for the next batch. This is my house. This is my chocolate shop. This is my physical food. This is my spiritual food. And this is my rest and where I work, where I create. So it's small, but it all works together. One piece.
Gigi makes premium quality chocolate that she sells in the U.S. It's a craft industry, but it rounds off her income from photography. She makes her chocolate in the purest Maya tradition.
When I make my chocolate, from the beginning to the end, I ask for permission. First, I ask for balance from the 4 cardinal points, from the 4 directions, and I make it according to the Mayan calendar day. Chocolate is magic. It's always been magic, and it's always been special.
When she's not up to her elbows in chocolate, Gigi spends her time on Maya culture, one of America's richest and most enlightened. But this photographer doesn't merely observe history and the ruins of long-forgotten pre-Columbian cities. She works on material that is much more alive. Gigi has been initiated as a priestess. She received instruction from Maya spiritual guides who passed on to her the secrets of their rituals. Today, Gigi is preparing several ceremonies with her friend Felipe, a reputed spiritual guide.
Que no los voy a nombrar todos. A los cachiqueros, a los...
Like shamans, the Maya priests are called upon to purify the sick and to officiate at life's important rites of passage.
Fire is, quite simply, our connection with our ancestors. We don't consider those who've passed away as dead. We say that they're in another dimension, a parallel world. Our ancestors often send us messages and advice. In prehistoric times, all the humans would gather around the fire. They'd share their moments of joy and sadness, their projects, and everything that could be done collectively. This fire symbolizes and reflects the ancestral part that is within all of us, all civilizations. We Maya always keep the fire burning no matter what, because it's a vital part of our daily life.
Gigi and Felipe are on their way to a sacred spot above Lake Atitlan. This cave in the mountainside has been the site of Maya ceremonies for centuries. In Guatemala, the Maya, the indigenous people, make up over half the population. 5% of them practice these rituals.
When I came here, I was decided that I was going to document the Maya. And I was rejected for years. No cameras, no cameras, no cameras. And it took quite a long time. And I realized that what I was experiencing and learning was more important than the photographs. And so I dedicated myself to learning. And then one day again, someone said, "Did you bring your camera? Can you take pictures?" And I thought, yeah. When I'm doing a ceremony, my focus is on the ceremony. In the beginning, it was very difficult to juggle the picture or the ceremony, but then it became a very fluid process where there would be a moment where it would yell, or it would scream, take a picture. And so I just quickly take a picture and then go back to the ceremony. And I think the ceremony is more important than the photographs.
Gigi is one of the rare Westerners allowed to photograph these secret religious ceremonies. Since the fall of their civilization around 850 AD, the Maya have been victims of persecution. The most recent wave took place in the 1980s in the thick of a civil war. The country was ravaged by 30 years of guerrilla warfare until the peace agreements of 1996. The war in Guatemala resulted in over 200,000 deaths and thousands missing. During those terrible years, ceremonies like these were prohibited, and the priests risked their lives.
Before the peace accord, this type of practice was quite stigmatized. People would perform them at night here in this spot. They wouldn't make the huge fires that they do now. They would use only candles for their prayers. But ultimately, the practice of the Maya ceremonies has endured.
The mysteries of the Maya civilization continue to fascinate the whole world. How did they manage to build city-states in the middle of the jungle and organize life for thousands of people? How could these societies, so enlightened with their knowledge of art, mathematics, and astronomy, have collapsed? There is to this day continued speculation as to the causes of the downfall of the Maya cities. Invasions, a degradation of the environment, internecine warfare, famine. Gigi exhibits her photos in New York and in Guatemala's museums. Thousands of black and white prints that bear witness to the richness of an eternal culture.
Sometimes I'll wait 1 year, and it could be even more. I just found one last week. I was going back over old pictures, and I said, wow, how come I didn't see this? But now my perspective has changed, and I have no attachment anymore to the pictures. So I look at it, and it becomes something new again. My best picture of all time is always the last picture I took.
Today, Gigi is shooting a private family ceremony taking place up in the highlands. In the flickering fire and candlelight, everyone is paying homage to Mashimon, a rather strange personage. Mashimon is a man with white skin and many faces. His mustache is a reference to the Spanish conquistador, the oppressor. At the same time, he is a Maya divinity, half god, half saint. He is also called Saint Simon. Mashimon embodies might and authority, good and evil. He watches over everyone. They talk to him, they touch him, they invite him to dance. The venerated Mashimon is also a bon vivant who enjoys flowers, alcohol, money, and cigarettes they have to light for him. For 12 years now, Gigi has been photographing the soul of the Maya.
I don't know how the people they see me. I mean, the people that I'm with and that I take pictures with, we're friends. You know, I make a lot of friends. I travel around the country a lot. We share a lot of different things. They respect me and I respect them, and that's huge. It's wonderful. It's really a big deal. You know, the amount of respect that's exchanged. I don't know how they see me.
By involving herself in the men and women of Guatemala, Gigi is, in her own way, highlighting the spiritual riches of a very mysterious world, as if to keep it from slipping into oblivion. In the center of Guatemala, the country's natural treasures have changed the destiny of another woman as well. Here, at more than 1,500 meters altitude, the tropical jungle is shrouded in mist and mystery. The Biotopo is a region of cloud forest that looks like the dawning of the world. Edna Alvarez is an amateur ornithologist. She runs the Ranchito del Quetzal, a natural reserve, a sanctuary for wildlife. She manages 30 hectares of forest, an ecological treasure, an island of nature in an environment threatened by deforestation. Over 120 bird species have been identified in her reserve, including the most famous bird, a legend of Guatemala, the quetzal, one of the world's loveliest birds. In the Mayan language, quetzal means bird. Furtive and shy, the quetzal lives in the canopy of the cloud forests.
Every time I spot a quetzal, I'm just so moved I want to cry. I feel like the luckiest person on earth. I think my job is one of a kind. I don't think there are many on this planet who drink their morning coffee gazing out on a quetzal. It's unique, incredible.
Guatemala's quetzals are in danger of extinction. The spread of farmland is threatening the primary forests and the habitat of all birds. Edna is a professional architect. This young woman grew up in Guatemala City, the capital, and lived for a time in Europe with her husband. But one day her destiny caught up with her. The sudden death of her father turned her life upside down. That day she decided to take over the reserve. It was her father, a trailblazer in wildlife protection, who had founded this sanctuary 12 years before.
I feel a very strong connection with my father here. Since he died, I feel his presence every time I think about quetzals. I feel that only in this spot. When I'm out walking, I think he could have been here with me, and that his spirit is with me. From where he is now, in another dimension, I feel that, in a way, he's still by my side.
quetzals come down from the neighboring peaks in search of food before the rainy season. Baldo, one of Edna's reserve guides, is trying to locate the fruit trees where the quetzals feed. It's the beginning of the mating season. Baldo knows the language of the couples courting in the forest.
When the male calls the female, he goes. Then the female responds. There are 7 different sounds. Sometimes he'll do this. Then he goes. That's what the male does when the female calls to him, and the female answers.
The quetzal is part of the country's history. This mythical bird of Guatemala is the emblem of the nation. It is present in everyone's mind, yet most Guatemalans have never, in fact, seen this legendary animal. In all the marketplaces of Guatemala, the quetzal is passed from hand to hand, for it's the name of the national currency. The country's lovely bird is printed on all the banknotes and is ever present in the daily life of the Guatemalans. Edna collects everything she can find about the quetzal in the local culture. The bird of the cloud forest stirs the imagination of the Maya. Its long feathers were once used to decorate the king's headdress, and they're still embroidered into the traditional garments.
I like this one. And this one. This one has quetzals? A little quetzal. In our country, there's a legend about a battle between a Spaniard and a Quiche prince. The prince was assassinated by the conquistador. When the prince dropped to the ground, a bird with long feathers lit on his chest and covered itself with the Indian's blood, then took it off and flew very high in the sky, taking all our freedom with him to a safer place. That bird represents liberty and our struggle to defend our lands.
The future of the country's legendary bird lies in the hands of Edna. She's cultivating a miniature forest of guarumo trees, whose fruit is the quetzal's favorite food. Edna's getting ready for a special day. She's heading for Alta Verapaz, to the property of an NGO, the Conservation Cloud Forest.
In both reserves, we grow the fruit that the quetzals usually eat. It's important for us to have a good variety of trees for reforestation. The advantage of these plants is that they produce fruit for human consumption as well. We have several objectives: to feed the quetzals and other birds, to replant these trees in a sustainable way, and to produce fruit for us as well.
The children of the Alta Verapaz communities are following an educational program set up by the Conservation Cloud Forest.
These are guarumo seeds. You see?
Each seed is a guarumo seed.
After 45 days, this is what we get. It'll grow and become a huge tree to the delight of the quetzals.
Allá, mira.
By planting trees, these children are ensuring the future of their forest and the survival of its inhabitants. Edna is taking a little group out bird watching. They're hoping to spot a quetzal or two. Humans have always tried to capture this bird. But no quetzal has ever survived in captivity because it lets itself die of hunger and thirst. That's why it's the symbol of freedom.
That one has black eyes, kids. It's this one here. Oh yeah, it's a big one.
There's a smaller one.
He flew off.
Every year after nesting, the quetzal sacrifices its beauty by shedding its feathers in order to protect its young from predators.
Look over there, on that little branch. There he is, you see? I had a profession that I still like, but I never felt that I could give the best of myself when I'd come here. This spot has made me a better person. This personal enrichment has allowed me to contribute something to the world and to evolve as a human being. Here, I'm truly fulfilling myself, thanks to the forest.
Protecting the quetzal has given meaning to Edna's life. A day's drive through the primary forest, heading for the Mexican border, brings us to the Laguna del Tigre. It's the end of the earth, the refuge of much more fearsome creatures. The Laguna del Tigre is a distillation of planet Earth, where nature is lush and thriving. Roland Griffin is an English biologist and herpetologist, a snake specialist. He has a particular fondness for crocodiles.
It's a sense of peace that I get when I'm in a place like this. The things that really matter come to the front, and just to be surrounded by nature rather than being surrounded by buildings, by human constructs, is just, for me, it's the best thing on earth.
Rivers and forest. The Laguna del Tigre is Central America's largest wetland. It's also Guatemala's largest national park, over 300,000 hectares of jungle and marsh, an animal realm with parts that have yet to be explored. Roland lives in this exceptional wilderness 6 months a year. His base camp is here on the banks of the San Pedro River.
Here we are coming into my other home when I'm here in Guatemala. This is the Estación Biológica Las Guacamayas, and it's where I base a lot of my work and my research from. And I just love it. It's one of the most tranquil places that I've ever been fortunate enough to visit. It's just so peaceful and wonderful. Some people might say there's something wrong with me for dedicating my life to two groups of animals that for most people are things that they would try to stay clear of. For me, with snakes especially, that's been a fascination that I've had since 8 years old. I can remember the day that I got turned on to snakes. I was 8 years old at school, and someone came in with some exotic animals, fruit bats, and I can't remember what else, except for a 16-foot Burmese python. And for me, that was it. And it's always been there, something that is very deep inside me. And for me, there's nothing more exhilarating and satisfying than working with them.
Before plunging into the jungle to track down snakes, Roland has an appointment to keep in Paso Caballos. Like something out of the Old West, this is the last village before entering the Laguna del Tigre. Roland is forever in search of the most beautiful reptile, sometimes the most dangerous as well. But he always has to be accompanied when he goes out snake hunting. It's a question of life and death.
Hola, Carlos.
Hi, Carlos.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
How's it going?
Good, Roland. Welcome.
Thanks.
Carlos lives on the outskirts of Paso Caballos. He works at the biology station and knows the jungle like the back of his hand. For Roland, Carlos is the indispensable partner in his expeditions.
Between 8 and 10 p.m. is the best time to see snakes. You can see them in the day too, but it's not at all certain. Nighttime is when you see them.
There hasn't been a drop of rain in 2 weeks. It's 40 degrees. Even the forest looks like it's suffering. Nature is holding its breath.
Nobody at home today.
The snakes are hiding away, keeping cool underground, which doesn't make finding them any easier.
The ground here is really smooth in a long line all the way down into these caves. Is likely to be a track of a snake. That's what it looks like to me. It's quite possible it's something like a boa constrictor, which we know we've found in this area, but we're also close to a large cave just down the way here, and boas often eat bats, things like that, so it's possible that it's here for that reason, to feed.
So far, they haven't turned anything up. Roland and Carlos push on into the forest. They're now a 3-hour hike from the biology station and heading for this high point, a mound, the vestiges of one of the Waka temples, a Maya city totally overgrown by the jungle.
Nature is fragile, but it is strong. There is a power there that we have no control over. And this was a large city. There were many people living here during its heyday. and just to imagine these structures clean, painted red as all Mayan structures were. And for me to see that nature can come back is wonderful. This is Smith's black striped snake. The scientific name is Coniophanes schmidti. I've recorded over 30 species of snake in Laguna del Tigre, and there are still more to find, I'm sure. We see the symbol of the snake on medical facilities, on ambulances all over the world. It's a symbol of health and vitality as well as death. It's something that we have maybe forgotten about a little bit more, even down to their physical shape. So the physical shape is quite phallic, it's very masculine, but the movement of a snake is incredibly feminine. It's smooth and just really gentle movements. So they're an animal of paradox, I guess.
The silence is broken only by the mournful cries of the howler monkeys. Waka is also the realm of the incredible treetop acrobat, the spider monkey. This city was discovered in 1970, but the archaeological excavation did not begin until years later, in 2003. Waka has since sunk back into oblivion. Roland just spotted a fer-de-lance viper. Its bite means certain death. This one's a juvenile, only about 20 centimeters long, but its venom is just as potent as an adult's.
They can get really big. The adults can reach 2.5 meters. Those are quite difficult snakes to deal with. The venom from this species is highly toxic. It can cause a lot of tissue damage and necrosis, lots of hemorrhaging, lots of bleeding. That often leads to amputation of a limb or something like that. But when left alone, they're not dangerous at all. I'm quite safe here with this animal right now, and as long as I respect this animal and its space, its boundaries, and behave in an appropriate manner, then I will be safe. Yeah.
Roland's dreams are inhabited by snakes, but by other reptiles as well. By nightfall, the biologist is back on the San Pedro River. This is the ideal time to meet the jungle's great predators.
It's really amazing to be this close to a big adult male Morlet's crocodile. It's very difficult to approach the population here. And I think the reason for that is that especially the big adults, the older members of the population here, remember being hunted. And so they still remember people in boats coming and hunting them. And they're still very wary of that.
Morla's crocodiles, one of the planet's 23 crocodile species, are very rare animals. They live only in certain parts of Guatemala, Belize, and Mexico. Roland's work allows us to better know them and thus protect them.
I have the camera on a stick so that when we get close enough to the crocodiles, we can get video footage of the head and neck region. And the shape of the scales and the pattern on the scales is unique to each individual. And by getting that footage, we can then tell where the individuals are moving on the river how big their territories are, keep track of them over years and see how that moves around, how that changes. Quite often populations can be quite dynamic. So by collecting this data year after year, we can really get an idea of what's happening with the ecology of this species. Coco.
Slowly, Maurice.
Yeah, sí.
Morlaix crocodiles are the monsters of the San Pedro River. They can grow up to 3.5 meters long.
And so you see, even when we do find them, it's not always easy getting close enough to get the data that we need.
Here, far from his native England, Roland is living out his passion. He publishes articles on his research and organizes scientific expeditions. Every year, dozens of volunteers come to help him carry out a census of the crocodiles on the San Pedro River. The data collected will help protect this species that very nearly disappeared.
They are a big predator, and anywhere where you have big predators and humans living together, there's always some kind of conflict between the two. Thankfully here there's not too much of a conflict, and it's usually accidental happenings. They have some kind of respect for the space that they're living in with the crocodiles, and for the most part there's harmony.
When the children go down to the river, they have to be careful not to bother the crocodiles, otherwise they'll attack. You have to leave them alone because they're in their natural habitat. We are not. We're sharing the same river.
Crocodiles have been living here at Paso Caballos since the dawn of time, and the fishermen have learned how to live with this lord of the river. Roland carries out his census day and night. At night, the crocodiles are more active and easier to spot. In the light of the headlamps, their eyes show up as two red dots on the surface of the water. This is what Roland and his crew are after. Even though the crocodiles are the largest predators of the jungle, they are still very timid creatures.
I've never seen one be so tolerant. I have a huge amount of respect for all life. There's something very special about crocodiles. They're super intelligent, they're apex predators, and for me it's an honor to share my time and this world with them. It's an absolute honor. Oh, I'm very excited, yes. Yeah, this is quite an experience. And I still can't believe that she's still there on the bottom, just biding her time very peacefully, very calmly. It's magnificent. What a night. Adios. Hasta luego. Muy bueno.
Roland, the English biologist, has decided to move to Guatemala for good. He's planning to open a center for sea turtles on the Pacific coast soon. But above all, he wants to continue to persuade people to look kindly on these two unappreciated animal species, snakes and crocodiles.
They're animals that have been around since the time of the dinosaurs, and they're still here. And I think for anyone who is into reptiles or dinosaurs and prehistory, being able to spend time with animals from that distant past, that's really special. It's really incredible. And there's only a few species left. There's 23 species out of over 200 known species of crocodilians, and many of them are endangered and are in need of conservation work. And that, for me, is just wonderful to be a part of that and to contribute to that.
It's one of the greenest countries on Earth, an El Dorado of river and forest where the possibilities seem endless. Suriname in the Amazon is one of the last frontiers and a land of illegal gold panners. For nature lovers, this little country is a gold mine of biodiversity in the image of its extremely mixed population. In the heart of the Amazon, pirogue or airplane are the only ways to plunge deep into this endless forest tinged with adventure.
The Amazon is a boundless universe. It never ends. There is always something further ahead. You advance and it keeps on going.
Fabian Vas is a Buru, a white descendant of Suriname's original Dutch colonists. He has decided to capture the beauty of his little-known country.
My job is traveling the length and breadth of Suriname to fix the country's most beautiful sights on film. Foreigners don't even know where Suriname is. It's located on the northern coast of South America, between Guyana, French Guiana, and Brazil. Traveling in Suriname is always an expedition. The infrastructure is poor and there are hardly any roads. You have to use the rivers to get around. That's why traveling here is always full of surprises. And it makes the country interesting. This is a land of adventure.
Fabian loves the wilderness and exploring unknown territories, photography, and the people he meets in his life. He has made a name for himself in this little country, flanked by the Amazon on one side and the warm waters of the Atlantic Ocean on the other.
When you're a stranger and you enter a village, the most important thing to do is be respectful. Before I start shooting in the village, I have to go see the chief. I have to thank him for allowing me to photograph the village and the villagers. You have to respect the people. Explain to them exactly what you're going to do and be polite. It's normal. You're on their territory.
For Fabian, his adventure in photography is like a rebirth. In a few months, he'll be publishing his work, 12 photos to the glory of Suriname. His photo reportage begins with the Amerindian fishermen of Galibi, then plunges into the limitless forest, where the young photographer's life nearly hit bottom.
I was panning for gold out in the forest for 3 years. I needed money. It was a great experience, but I was always in danger. It was really quite something. I wouldn't sleep. I'd be there in my hammock, afraid of being attacked. I was living in an encampment, in a tent, a canvas tarp that could be set up very quickly, and just a plastic sheet to protect me from the wind and rain. That was my shelter. Everything was dirty, polluted. I was eating poorly, drinking bad water. It was really not a healthy life. One day, there was a police raid. When the police came into the camp, I grabbed all my stuff, my papers, and ran off into the forest. I was in such a bad state that I broke down and cried. That was a decisive moment. I knew I couldn't go on with that way of life. I was afraid the police would catch me and lock me away. That's when I realized that it just wasn't worth the trouble. It was momentous, a staggering moment, even now when I think back on it.
Gashes in the brown earth, polluted with mercury. This is the El Dorado of the illegal gold panners. Fabian is a born-again ecologist who's now paying off his debt to nature.
When I look back on my life before, what I did then, and what I'm doing now, I feel good. I'm a better person and feel better about my life. I've done some shady things in the past. Now, with my photography, it's a whole new ballgame. I'm out in the forest, in the middle of the trees and the people. It's just all positive energy. I feel it's my place.
Fabian is traveling up the Suriname River, one of the main arteries into the interior. It hasn't rained in weeks. Bad news for the boatmen. In the dry season, the inland villages are even more isolated from the rest of the world by the rapids.
I love traveling like this, with no roads to get from one point to another. When you leave the city, you have to drive on dirt tracks. Then you have to take a pirogue for several hours and cross the rapids. When the river's low, you have to push the pirogue, help the boatmen through the rapids. Sometimes you even have to carry the pirogue when it's really low.
dit is het gebied van de Marons.
This is the land of the Maroons, the descendants of slaves that ran away from the plantations more than 200 years ago during the colonial period. The Maroons learned a lot from the Indians about surviving and adapting here. Now, they have their own way of life.
This
is a traditional gateway designed to ward off evil spirits. There must be a village close by.
Waarschijnlijk een dorpje hier zo, waar ik iemand moet ontmoeten.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
I'm looking for the person who makes pirogues.
You have to go back towards the river.
Is it far?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, man. Hi. Ik hoorde dat er iemand in het dorp zei.
They told me that there was a boat builder here.
Dus het is ben je dat?
Yes, right here. It's me.
Ik ben voor mijn werk hier om het.
I'm a photographer. Would it be okay if I take some pictures?
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Okay.
What's the next stage in the construction?
Well, once I've finished hollowing out the trunk, I'm going to burn it, heat it up gently, and then I'll lay some palm fronds underneath it, then light them. After that, I have to wedge it open to give the pirogue its shape. And when that step is finished, I let it sit out for a day or two, and then I'm going to fasten the planks right here to the sides. You can't find pirogues like this just anywhere. Only in the north of Suriname, in the region of the Sierra Madre tribes. People here don't have cars. The only way to ship things around is by boat. Anything that we have to transport goes by pirogue. That's why the villages are so close to the riverbanks.
Before, the gold prospecting was my whole life. I hunted to eat, and I destroyed nature in the gold panning camps. Back then, I was a polluter. I didn't realize what nature could offer me. The Amazon is a boundless universe. It never ends. There is always something further ahead. You advance, and it keeps on going.
Brokopondo Lake, a vast reservoir of fresh water, is an otherworldly landscape, a parcel of the sunken Amazon. In the 1960s, they built a dam on the Suriname River to provide electricity to the capital, Paramaribo, the bauxite mines, and in particular, an aluminum factory.
Those are islands over there. They used to be hills. You have to imagine that this used to be a mountainous tropical landscape. With the dam, the water rose and submerged everything in the valleys, and the hills became islands. It's very mysterious, the trees underwater here. This has been a sunken forest for more than 60 years.
Nature has stood still here in Brokopondo. When the tropical forest was submerged beneath fathoms of water, no one imagined that they were, in fact, sinking a treasure. Fabian has come to meet the men who are mining the rich vein of Brokopondo, a handful of intrepid Brazilians, all top-notch lumberjacks.
If the water's clear, it's good. We can work. We can see what we're doing, but if it's murky, it gets tricky. Often, when you're down at the bottom and you're a little tired, your mind begins to drift, you get distracted. This is not good. You have to stay focused on your work and on the machine, because if you let your mind wander, you could lose an arm, you could lose a leg.
The treasure of Brokopondo is down at the bottom of the lake. Mahogany, angelique, amaranth, millions of cubic meters of precious, rare woods of the Amazon.
As a general rule, logging trees here is not good for nature. But in this lake, you can just serve yourself. All the trees are dead. The tropical forest is as old as the world. We have to protect it. But here, the wood has been underwater for a long time.
It's not your ordinary lumberjack who can work in these extreme conditions. He has to handle the chainsaw underwater while breathing through an air hose connected to the compressor. Tamu, the Brazilian, has arrived at the base of the tree, 20 meters down. The long immersion in the water has made the wood rot-proof and of a very high quality, as hard as rock, which makes it so valuable. The lumber from Brokopondo is some of the world's most expensive wood. The lumberjacks have worked for the next 20 years, logging the sunken treasure of the Amazon.
I'm an adventurer. I love going into the forest, being there. I really enjoy it. It makes me happy. Adventure, adventure, and more adventure.
When I was young, there was the series Flying Doctors. I think it's a very old series from the 70s or the 80s. The nurses or the doctors take a plane to save the patients. And we always watched that series. And I already knew I wanted to become a doctor. I always wanted to become a doctor. My father is a doctor. And I really like the series. So now it's, it's like Flying Doctor. And I think this is pretty close to my dream. I'm the Flying Doctor. It's ACT, Ronnie. I deliver everything. The post, sometimes rice for the people who work here. But now we don't have, but we take everything.
For the tribes of the Amazon, the doctor always arrives by air and never empty-handed. Rosanne Percher, 35, is Suriname's only flying doctor. She works for Medische Zending, a medical and humanitarian mission. She crisscrosses the Amazon by plane, helping the communities isolated in the vast tropical forest.
Well, I did my specialization in tropical medicine, and for that I went to Ethiopia. And I always loved traveling, so I've been to many countries in Africa. And I've been to India for a long time.
Rosanne has always preferred field medicine to a comfortable consulting room in Amsterdam. This is her profession and her passion, and it has made her a kindly, generous person. Rosanne visits the village of Apetina on the shores of the Tapahoni River at least once a month. The village practical nurse is there to greet her.
Helpt nooit als hij mij ziet, toch? Oh, toch wel, toch wel.
When a child has an attack, I treat him with a vaporizer. Now, the parents have to know how to do it too.
He doesn't like doctor. He's been in the hospital too long. He doesn't like doctor. He went to the city by emergency. He's very ill. And now he came back, and luckily he's healthy again. But we see him every time we come here to check on him, because we want to know how he's doing. So it's my favorite kid in the village. Yeah.
They're waiting for the doctor at the infirmary. With her portable ultrasound device, Rosanne can monitor the pregnancies of the future mothers here in the heart of the Amazon.
Oh, okay.
You love your baby already, right? Well, I'm going to show it to you and measure it. You wanted a boy?
Dan ga ik het meten hoe groot het is. Jongetje.
You see those 3 lines on the screen? If it's a boy, there'll usually be 2 little balls and 1 line.
1, 2, 3 streepjes. Bij een jongetje zie je een piemeltje met ballen, toch? We've just figured out that it's a girl. And now I'm looking for amniotic fluid. But I don't see much. It's not enough. She needs to go to the city. Because she doesn't have a big belly,
Maar ik had meer jongens.
Oh, omdat je zo overtuigd was van haar.
This young woman risks having problems in her late pregnancy. Rosanne has to persuade the parents that it would be better to go to the city for the last few weeks before the birth.
Als er gelegenheid er is, mag je mee. Sometimes they don't go because they don't have a place to stay in the city. They don't have funding. They prefer staying with their families. So sometimes in these areas we have very difficult labors. because of the people we advise to go to the city, just stay here. And we understand that they stay here, but for us, it's better if they go to the city. So she knows, and she's going to talk with her family about it.
Roseanne won't be back for a month. The only way this future mother can give birth in the city is with the doctor's plane. When the river is at its lowest, it takes weeks by pirogue to go from this village to the capital. For Roseanne and Andy, her pilot, the job means endless takeoffs and landings. Andy, also Dutch, gave up his real estate job in Europe to become a pilot for MAF, a Dutch association that uses its fleet of planes to help isolated communities the world over.
So serving together with medische zending, yeah, it's just a benefit for both, because we do the flying, they do the medical stuff, you know. And so each of us are doing his job, and we both serve the people of Suriname for many, many years already. I think it's more than 50 years. Well, sometimes we talk, sometimes I sleep, sometimes I think about my life, my future. This is a very good place to do some, to overthink your life and the future ahead of you, and the things you want to achieve, but also what happened in the day, what kind of patients did you see, did you make the right decisions, do you have to follow them up, or everything passes by.
3/4 of this little country's population lives in Paramaribo, the capital. This is where the headquarters of Medische Zending, Roseanne's medical mission, is located.
Take this as, this is my ultrasound, and this is just material. Deze moet ook mee. Material for the polyclinic, for the patients, some medication, some equipment, and vaccine.
Every time they set out, it's an expedition. The doctor's plane is not just a medical liaison. It's a veritable lifeline between the capital and the villages inland.
So today's trip is going from Paramaribo to Kawamhakan, and then we stayed at Palimeu, and we went to Tepu the next day and back.
The village of Kawamaka is an hour and a half from the capital in the region of Upper Maroni. This community of Wayana Indians lives in the region where Suriname meets French Guiana. This is where the borders start to become uncertain. No one ever comes here, apart from the illegal prospectors of the Wildcat gold mines. Since the 1970s, Medische Zending has been training a practical nurse in each Amerindian village to dispense primary health care while waiting for the doctor to arrive, and also to make sure the patients follow up on their treatment.
Hi, Meep.
Meep, the village chief, is also Kawamaka's practical nurse.
some of the patients I see all year, so I see them coming and going and coming and going. So when they come back, we can chat. But sometimes it's very busy, and we don't have the time to really have this relationship, building of the relationship. But some of the people, they're chronic patients, so I see them a lot.
As the practical nurse, Miep attends all Roseanne's consultations. Like all village chiefs, his words are respected and heeded.
Dus vanaf vandaag of komende dagen aanvraag opname, toch? Dit meteen op nu. He's a very important person for this village and for the area, and he's a very good nurse. So he's my support in bad times. He can call me all the time. He calls me sometimes for accidents or other things happening, and yeah, he knows what he's doing. So that's good.
So I'm prescribing 1 pill per week, okay?
Per week.
Oh, yes, you like to laugh, you.
Roseanne has a 2-year-old son and is expecting her second child. This has changed her status in the eyes of the Indian women.
Je ziet geen slijm en je hoort geen slijm. Is hij benauwd? I'm 5 months pregnant, and well, now sometimes they see, sometimes they don't. But they like it very much because it makes me more a woman than a doctor. So they think I'm more one of them than because I'm also pregnant and not a doctor who visits and goes back to the city. So yeah. This work gives me great pleasure and great energy, and so I keep active as long as I keep active. I hope. Clary, zeker. Lawa. The first time I came here, they were very shy, because it's very shy people, very introvert people. But as they see you come back and back and back, and they return, and they see that you take interest in their culture, in their families, in their health, then they open up a bit, and you can talk more about life and family.
Roseanne has just received an emergency call. She has to cut short her consultations to go help a young woman who's having problems in labor. It will be a 40-minute flight.
So now we have an ambulance waiting for the doctor. If she is ready with the patients right now, we can go.
Well, we have 2 very sick patients in different places, different areas in Suriname. So we're leaving here now and going to fetch them. And there's an ambulance waiting in Paramaribo to get them to the hospital. Clear!
It's a life and death situation, and Roseanne is in a race against time. She doesn't know anything about the mother or baby's condition. When they land, the village practical nurse fills her in. It seems that the baby is out of danger, but not the young mother.
What baby?
Every year, they carry out 200 medical evacuations through the skies over the world's largest forest.
Dag, zuster. Diakones.
Don't worry. You'll come back. You may need an operation, you know. Then you'll be able to come back. You'll have to be brave, okay?
Okay. Okay.
You want some water?
Okay.
It's time to go.
If she wants to lie down, she can go over to the other side.
I think when you decide to become a doctor, you also want to help people. And in some countries, it's just your help is very useful. It's more useful than maybe in Holland. So that's why, and I think now we're here in the middle of the Amazons, they really appreciate my help. Here, the people just live day by day. They take life as it comes, and they cherish it. And for me, it's a very valuable lesson that you should always, appreciate your day as it comes. I can contribute more than maybe I could staying in Holland.
Monique Poole is a heroine in her country because she is a defender of the Amazon's emblematic animal, the sloth.
I think we humans are doing a lot of damage to nature, and I think this is the best thing we can do. We have to help these animals back into the wild where they can live. So I'm really glad to be sort of a taxi driver for wildlife. They are a symbol for me of the vulnerability of nature and of how important it is for us to protect nature and the animals in it.
This animal always seems to be smiling, and it has a charming, peaceful nature. Its incredibly slow pace is due to its diet. The sloth spends all its time digesting its food. Out in her yard, Monique is caring for a dozen sloths picked up from the center of Paramaribo. Then she releases them into their natural habitat. Thanks to her actions, she was shortlisted for CNN Hero of the Year.
We started 10 years ago when I lost a dog, and I went looking for my dog, and then I found a baby sloth, and that's how I then became involved in learning what was happening to them, why were they in trouble. So when there is a problem, all the other animals can fly away or run away, but they cannot. So they will stay in the tree until it gets pushed over.
Monique's yard is a little Noah's Ark, a haven for the more fragile creatures of the forest. She also shelters porcupines, anteaters, plus one giant anteater, vulnerable endangered species from Central and South America. Monique Poole's nickname is the Sloth Lady. Over Over the past 10 years, she has saved hundreds of animals. Little by little, a team of volunteers formed around her, and they created a foundation, Green Heritage Fund Suriname. She may not be a biologist, but she has become one of the world's foremost experts on sloths.
We don't know enough about the populations. Only recently we found that this species that we have in Suriname, the three-toed sloth, is only limited to the Guyanas, to Brazil and Venezuela. Before we thought it had a much larger range. And so we don't really know all that much. Here at the coast, we see a lot of animals. So we even don't know really what the distribution is. So that's why we're trying to do research on where they are, what they do, and we work together with all researchers in the area here.
Four years ago, Monique carried out her most memorable rescue. She had been alerted that about 10 animals were in the woods close to the city. But nothing went as planned. Monique filmed the whole sequence.
This was in 2012, and we rescued a lot of animals from a very small piece of land, only 7 hectares, and there were really a lot of animals, a lot of sloths, but almost 200 animals in 7 hectares of land in the city. The operator was very nice because he was really looking for the trees not to fall down, but push them onto other trees so that the animals wouldn't be hurt. 2 we found later were dead, but then most of them were just completely unharmed. Maybe scared, but that was it.
Monique also has another passion. About 40 kilometers up from the open sea, the estuary of the Suriname River is home to a rare endemic marine mammal.
This morning I have a special meeting with nature and with the dolphins. They are right there.
The Guyana dolphin is very difficult to observe. Twice a month at dawn, Monique does a nose count of this little sedentary school of dolphins.
For 10 years we have been following the dolphins and trying to see where they live, what they do during the day, and see what they eat, what affects them. They come, they look at you, then they go and do their business, they go and swim, and then sometimes they come, if they're very happy or want to show off a new baby, then the baby comes and shows itself. It's very special. This is, I think, in the whole of South America, a unique river for this type of dolphin.
Monique passes on her observations to French scientists studying the Guyana dolphins. They recognize the value of her work, even though she is not a scientist.
Actually, since I was a little child, I always loved nature. I wanted to become a biologist, but then I studied something else. I studied languages. So this is like still my passion from being a child. Now, to still be close to nature and be able to do something for nature, it's really fantastic.
SOS Sloths in Danger. Every week, Monique gets dozens of calls to pick up stray animals in the city, in yards or houses, all settings where the sloths can't survive.
It's an emergency and the people are worried about it. Either Maybe because they have dogs, maybe they have small children, and so they are maybe afraid. We will find out when we get there. Yeah, be really careful though. Yeah, okay, yes, this one. Okay. Wait, this one. Yes, yes, yeah, but get it close. Okay. Close, okay. Yeah. So we were able to catch him after we agreed on how we would be doing it. So because I know how they behave, so we were able to do it much faster than before. Before I didn't really know, and now I know. So then it's easy to get them into the cage.
This is a two-toed sloth, the biggest and feistiest when threatened. They're very likable animals. That's surely why Monique's work is so popular in this land of sloths.
Ja.
Maar nu is het uiteindelijk gelukt.
Ja, en dank u wel voor dit. Ja. Hey, we gaan je loslaten, hè? Een beetje rustiger.
Today, Monique is going to set free the very healthy sloth they picked up in town.
Ik denk dat we nog een heel stuk moeten lopen. These animals do not belong in the city. We are encroaching on their habitat. So there's a human-animal conflict there. And the best thing we can do for them is to bring them to a forest of which we know that is not going to be cut and where they can live for many, many years. So every animal we get, if it's healthy, it will go back to the forest like this. She is. She knows. She's like, okay, open it, open it. Huh? He's looking around to see what is his new home. So it's really looking where's food, where is a good place to sleep, and where can I stay safe. Well, this is his new home. He comes from the city, so now he's back in the trees where he will be happy. This is the most amazing moment of every rescue because this is where they belong. And so within a few minutes, you're not able to see them, but you know they're there. You know, these little friends I have, that they are there, they're watching me. And it's just a fantastic idea. This is where they belong. You can see their whole face is changing, their energy. They love. This is their home. So this is the best moment. The best moment of every animal that we get is when we can let it go back to the forest. Yeah.
Monique has managed to buy a small parcel of Amazonian forest thanks to the Green Heritage Fund. She's planning to build a large refuge for sloths here in a few months when she has collected enough money in order to ease their return to the wild.
What makes me want to protect this is because first of all, it's very beautiful. And I think we humans, we need beauty as well. And not just beauty from humans who make more beautiful things, but the beauty of nature. And so that's why we need to preserve it, to be healthy humans. We need to have forests like this that regenerate us and give us energy.
Monique came here to feel the pulse of the forest atop the Volksberg Dome. Someday, she'll write her story. The story of a woman in love with the sweetest and gentlest of animals, the Amazonian sloth.
You just feel at peace here, just complete at ease. This is where we belong, I think. This is the most beautiful place in the world, I think.
Today, Somewhere on Earth invites you to discover Belize. This slip of land tucked between Guatemala and Mexico on the shores of the Caribbean is the Tom Thumb of Central America. Half the territory is covered in jungle, and its shores are home to the world's second-largest barrier reef. In the far south of the country, we'll meet Cash, a ranger by profession, but first and foremost, an islander. Revisiting his childhood spent between land and sea, he shares with us his love of the Port Honduras Marine Reserve. Isabel, a wildlife veterinarian, has devoted her life to taking care of the animals from one end of Belize to the other. She'll take us off the beaten paths to visit her patients. Whether they're hiding in the jungle or swimming in the sea, they're a varied assortment of surprising creatures. Melito's passion for a river has taken the shape of a voyage. Every month he travels up the Sibun River to make sure that it's not in any danger. This final link in a natural corridor from north to south is his pride and joy, the focus of his life.
This river has given me more life than I think that I have, because I've been through many things, you know, and I could be dead by now. Well, I call myself dead man. But you know what? The river said, no, I'm not ready for you yet. Go on, you got a mission to, to accomplish, so I'll give you another chance. So man, from then, I love the river even more.
For a long time, Belize has been shrouded in mystery. Avoided by the conquistadors, it was not until the 17th century that pirates crossed the reefs and landed on these forbidding shores. A vast expanse of solitude, stubbornly resistant to human presence. Isolation is an intrinsic part of the country's identity. There are countless sanctuaries, reserves, and protected areas. In this realm, nature makes the rules. We're just a few kilometers offshore in the Port Honduras Marine Reserve. Declared a protected area in 2000, it offers a myriad of islets covered in mangroves. These plants form a rampart against erosion and are also a haven and breeding ground for a wide variety of animals. They call this spot the Nursery of the Caribbean. Cash knows this maze like the back of his hand. He's been roaming through here as long as he can remember.
I had a very special childhood. It's something I'll never forget. I grew up on an island. I used to walk on the mangrove. I grew up having fun, just watching birds, walking on the mangrove. That was a good feeling. I used to watch the different species living in holes in the mud. The crab's another fish living in the mangrove. We're away from the city. It's so quiet, so peaceful. You can't get better than this area. Back in the day, there was a lot more people. They want education, jobs. They want to uplift themselves. But if you want to stick to nature, this is the place to be. You know, within Port Honduras. There's spirit here. It helps you to have the courage to stay.
Cash is the youngest of 8 siblings. His mother, a fisherwoman, supported the whole family. She has passed on to him her experience and lore of the islands.
Good? Right there, you make you cut that piece of stick, put on the crutch.
Put on the crutch on it, no?
Yes.
You want to cut it, you want to stretch?
Right. Just go and hold over there and then just make it.
When we were growing up, we had exciting moments. I used to always run away from my mom, and she'd think I was going out fishing or going out somewhere. Yeah, sometimes I got a whipping. It was freedom in some way. I think growing up like that did help us, actually. Keeping us away from all the negative things, from bad influences that we have around us. That's the good part of it.
In my days, everything was free. You know, like today, everything was free. You go into the sea, you pick up a corn, you catch a fish, you catch a lobster, nobody to tell you nothing. No, you can't do it, no? But it's good in a one way because everything is done. So we have to protect the areas. This is my life. When I reach the island, oh, peace, joy. Especially sea, the water, you know, clear, no mud, beautiful. I don't know, it's something very great. And I feel nice about it. And I'm proud to be a fisherwoman. So, because right now they can't.
Before laws were enacted to preserve these waters, Port Honduras had long been overexploited. In the 1970s, fishing with nets was widespread in the zone. It was urgent to take action in order to save this haven sheltering so many species. With this idea in mind, Cash became a ranger. He lives alone on this spit of land lapped by the waves.
To the east, we have Honduras. To the north, we have Mexico. And if you go along the coastline and follow it, you will find Chetumal. It goes right up to the Mexican waters. The barrier reef joins with the Mexican barrier reef. So this is the Gulf of Honduras, all of this that you can see around here. Here we're at Abalone Key. This is the ranger station within Port Honduras. Here we're in the tower, and from here we can do tower surveillance to monitor the area. I love the sea, and that's the reason why I'm a part of this right now, being a ranger. What you can do within the reserve, you can fish to eat and to sell. But you're not allowed to use certain methods within the reserve. The reason why I really love the job I'm doing is because I spent all my life here, and I also want to take care of what is ours. If we don't take care of it, we will not have it for the future.
In his free time, Cash likes to trade his ranger's boat for a dory, the traditional craft of the Keys, as the islands are called in Belize. Port Honduras is now protected, but lobster fishing is authorized a few months a year. No need to go very far. You can catch them just a few meters off the beaches. Many men who sought refuge on these islands managed to survive thanks to this abundance. The horizon, where one can lose oneself and vanish from sight. Belize has been a sanctuary for a number of people shipwrecked by history. Pirates, fugitives, but also slaves from Africa. Their descendants still perpetuate their music. This is the Garifuna community. Singing is their way of invoking their ancestors.
When I was a kid growing up, I used to hear it. I guess the drums put spirit in you and you get moving. That's the reason why I just love it.
But today's modern world needs landmarks and sentinels. On Hunting Key, facing the barrier reef, Dandu ensures that the lighthouse is always functioning.
Roger, 1-8. Of life, I hear you clearly. Come in, over. If we do have problem with the lighthouse, it will take about 2 or 3 days before I can get help. All navigations really needs the lighthouse. This is the end of the barrier reef, and boats came in from Guatemala, Honduras, and Belize through this channel that goes out to the Caribbean. So this is the most important lighthouse here in Belize. It's a way of life. I feel more free, you know. I go where I want to. I do what I feel like, you know, go swimming, go diving. Then when I'm here, you know, I feel like I'm somewhere. The barrier reef, wow, it's beautiful, you know. It's more than a treasure, it's a heritage. I mean, I want my great-grandson, my great-great-great-grandson to come and enjoy what I'm enjoying today.
Dandu has known Cash since he was a child. Today, he's waiting for him impatiently because he needs his help to keep up the lighthouse. Time is short, for nightfall is approaching, and the wind is getting stronger.
Hey, Cash, why? Will you bring for me, man?
I have a battery here for you. You said you have to change it because you have a problem?
Yes, man. Give me a little hand, man. Because I need help on the lighthouse too, man. Yes, man. Thanks, man. Yeah, for helping with this battery, boy.
When I was a kid, we used to go to the lighthouse, and we would dare each other to see who was brave enough to climb up there. And the one who'd get up there would say, "Yes, I'm a man, and you are just kids." That made us feel good. Sometimes we would drop down and go hiding from the guys that took care of the lighthouse. Because if they saw you, they would yell at you and say, "You can't go up." So we took those chances as kids, you know. It's something that we really enjoyed.
So what happened?
This end, you want to carry this end up?
Yeah, this end, yeah.
Take your time, man.
Why? I nearly could say Honduras for you.
Serious?
That's rain clouds between Honduras and the mountains.
When I go and meet other people from the reserve, it's like a home and a small place for everyone. We help one another in everything. You need something, you get it from me. I need something, I get it from you. That's the way it works all through the islands. So we look out for one another. You can't just go anywhere and trade the same way we do. Here, we work together with a community spirit.
Here, on the outer limits of this mint green expanse, isolation brings people together. The elements forge an identity, the soul of the Belize Islanders. A space outside of time. The San Ignacio region in the west of the country near the Guatemala border is a paradise for those in quest of the absolute. Jungle as far as the eye can see. Here, everything is a call to adventure.
You see your teeth? Those are some old teeth. Tapirs are a mixture of horse and rhinoceros. It's a very old animal, and it's actually the only one in its group. There's 4 different tapir species worldwide, but this is the Central American species, and it's also the national animal of Belize.
Isabel, a Franco-German veterinarian, landed here 8 years ago with her backpack and her very young child. She came to work with the wildlife and is committed to protecting endangered species. Here, in Central America, she has found a way of life that corresponds to the ideals she has kept from her somewhat bohemian childhood. There are many highly motivated people like Isabel in Belize working to maintain the equilibrium between the wildlife and the environment, on the land, in the sea, and in the lagoons.
Barely got him. No, we don't. We gotta do this. Hold on. That's what I would like to know.
Chris, Sherry, and Vince take care of American saltwater crocodiles.
Hold on, it's not on him.
The most common species in Belize. These reptiles are usually left to live in peace here, but in some regions where human activity is more intense, the cohabitation can be quite problematic.
All right, go ahead and go.
Can you believe this? Somebody has chopped this animal's tail off for meat.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
They get about $17 a pound for this.
For him to come so quickly for chicken, he's obviously been fed, used to humans. Obviously someone coerced him up to come to the bank, gave him some chicken, but then lopped his tail off. So we're gonna bring him up north and let him go and let him be a crocodile where there aren't any human beings around and no one to feed him or chop at him. And he'll do just fine because his natural diet is fish or raccoons, not chicken. So.
Such severe wounds show that this great predator can also be a victim. And in cases like this one, it's Isabel who takes over.
Oh, good. How you doing? Good trip? Yeah.
Hello.
Glad to be here.
I'm glad you could make it.
So that's the guy you caught last night?
Yeah,
Yes.
This is him. And we're glad that you're here with us, too, because its tail's been amputated by machete. And so it's great to have a vet here and to help us assess the
You gotta look at that.
severity of it.
Releasing a crocodile back into the wild is always very moving. The worldwide population of American crocodiles is estimated at 15,000. Belize is one of the last places where their habitat is still protected.
Doesn't really appear to be infected, I don't think. And it was really nicely healed until she rubbed it. So got her base.
Well, this is an exciting moment. We're about to release this girl back into her natural environment without human disturbance, so it's quite exciting. Personally, as a wildlife veterinarian with a passion for wildlife rescue and rehabilitation, this is about as good as it can get to be able to bring an animal back out into the wild.
I get to do it all the time, so I like being Vince do this.
Ready to go.
1, 2, 3.
The recovery time, that's pretty quick. That's a very healthy animal. Usually the recovery time when they've been held overnight like this one has can be quite slow, sometimes up to 5 minutes.
The profession is often very rough and very difficult, but for example, the moment of getting to release an animal that we've been able to heal back into the wild, or an animal that we have bred and rehabilitated to go back out, that is truly the biggest reward and makes me feel like we achieve some sort of harmony. Belize is a really small world. There is about 340,000 inhabitants in 6 major cities. Our capital is Belmopan, with the last count was 6,000 people living there, which made it the smallest capital in the world. And it really adds to the lifestyle in Belize. It makes that everybody knows everybody, and it's all like a small village, the whole country is. We're about to drive through Barton Creek, which is a Mennonite community. The Mennonites are a religious group that came from the Protestants, and they originated in Europe, and they left Europe about 250 years ago because they're basically pacifists. They did not want to join the military, and they have moved a little bit all over the world. I grew up in the countryside in Germany, and then in the countryside in Paraguay for 2 years, which for some reason has left a lifelong impact of wanting to go back to the simplicity of life that we had there, where I could take my horse to school. We came to Belize and we stayed. I can really not see myself live in a city, in a concrete jungle, at all. There's very, very few things on this planet that would take me away from here, and it would have to be closely related to conservation. Nature is my church. That's where I go to get new energy and recharge. The Tamanda was found as a baby after a flood. She was orphaned, there was no mother around, and she was flushed down the river. So they raised her from a baby with a goal to release her once she is ready to be released. They are very specialized animals, and they eat ants and termites. And it takes 5 or 6 hours per day for them to get enough time to get enough food. So they're very labor intensive. We're just looking to see what she does, basically, if she looks like a normal tamandua and if she can find her food. And that looks pretty normal. I love the daily challenges. It never gets boring. You have to constantly improvise and figure out how to deal with a new situation compared to a normal veterinarian and normal veterinary practice where after a couple of months you've seen most of what you're going to see every day and it gets boring quick. My work does never get boring. And if you ever had to restrain her, we would actually grab her by her front legs because that's what she would use to defend herself. So what you saw a little earlier where she did this, that was really good to see because we want her to not like humans.
Mission accomplished. And Isabel is already back on the road. Vince and Sherry have called her in again. This time the crew is planning a night rescue.
We're going to try and capture the 2 crocodiles that have been deemed problematic and/or because of future development from this area down south. And once we capture both crocodiles, which we believe to be a mating pair, we're going to, by boat, bring them up north, and we'll probably come out here and go off onto these mangrove areas where there's no people, no development.
We can't go that far anyways. That's all the further we're gonna be able to go.
Well, the further up you go, the better off it's going to be. But you go too far, then you don't want to enter Mexico.
How far is Mexico?
It's only about 20 miles, actually.
Belize is a paradise for people like me wanting to work in conservation because we still have 60% of the country covered in native forest. We have a humongous biodiversity here. And a lot of the problems that I saw in the US or in other places before was illegal trade. And once we see a wild animal in Europe or in the US, there's no way we can bring it back. So one of my goals or missions in life was to work on site in one of these developing countries where we still have biodiversity and nature left.
All the eye shines you see that are orange and this color, we know that is a crocodile staring at us right now. He can hear us, smell us, see us, sense us.
Got a head first down there somewhere?
I can't see the head, no.
I have the tip of the tail here, her mid-body's right here, she's 2 o'clock from the front of the neck. Right here, her head's right there.
Okay, wait.
Her head's coming towards you now.
Right.
Right up in there. Go on the other side of the
Go to I feel then go to another corner.
Hold on. She's coming up.
Here,
She's coming up.
Get her.
Oh, man.
Let go of the rope. Let go of the rope. No. I'm telling these to give you slack. I've got it. Go. All right. Too late.
Got her. Good. Okay, hold on, though. You can't taper yet. You gotta let her expel some of that water. That sucked. Good job.
This is from a croc fight.
Aww.
That's a hell of a gash.
She will heal rather quickly. Crocodiles have enormous capacity to heal, and it's really, as much as it looks like a big gash, it's a minor wound for her. And adrenaline is working on me too. Believe me, if she starts moving and shaking and I fear that Chris is losing control, I will be out of this area within a split second.
Living intense experiences in close contact with the wild kingdom. Here in Belize, Isabel's dream comes alive again with each new day. Here in the midst of the Maya Mountains is the birthplace of a river renowned for its purity, the Sibun. It winds its way through a dense jungle, and Melito has made it his mission to protect it.
My Sibun is my life. And my navel string, when I was born, my navel string went in the Sibun River. So the Sibun River have this thing in me that I must be there. I must swim in it every day. I must drink from it every day. You know, that's just, you know, how special Sibun River is to me. I used to have a job, a permanent job, for 10 years. And I feel something in me that's holding me back. I don't really know what it was until I spend more time on the river, and then I could feel, oh, you know what? This is it. This is my dream right here. This is what I wanted in my life, to be on that river anytime, anywhere. I'll stick with the river. I call myself as a riverman by, you know, taking my own responsibilities, going that river. There's like 12 different communities along that river that needs to know what's up upstream. Travel this river once a month, you know, and I go around checking everything. Recently we had some floods, and so I'm gonna go check out the river and see if I can see some good stuff on the river.
This solitary voyage has become as vital as breathing for Melito. Meandering up the Sibun, he's also making a trip back in time and revisiting his culture. Everything in this setting reminds him of who he is and where he comes from.
It's a big saber there, man. We'll go visit that right now and check those big buttresses. This saber tree is about 120 years old. My ancestors are still leave something to let me know that yes, they exist back in the days. And the other thing is, not a lot of big trees is left in Belize. Most of our big trees gone, down the river, cut down by loggers. So when we see a big tree like this, we praise it, because it's wonderful to see it again, you know? Yeah. I am mixed with the Mopan Maya, and the Mopan Maya is one of the strongest Mayan in Belize. Mayans once used to use the cave for sacrificing. They will come in a cave, they will have a big circle, a bonfire, and they will have a little dance first, one of the Mayan culture thing, you know. And right after that, they have a big sacrifice.
Even today, the Mayas show great respect for their dead. They still practice their rituals in caves, but the forms have changed.
They use the cave for storage because sometimes even the areas where the Mayans used to live get flooded. So there's a lot of different levels in caves, so they always use the highest one. Again, in here, they have a god that they call the Xibalba, which that they believe that, you know, take their ancestors and take them, you know, to heaven. That's why we have a secret tree that's named the Ceiba, which is a secret tree of the Mayans. Because what happened is, the roots of that big tree is up out there in the outer world, and the roots pushes down through the cave to the underworld, right? So when they do their sacrificing, they believe that the ancestors go through that root, straight to the trunks, and through the branches to the heavens.
The Sibun is the only source of drinking water for the villages along its banks. Melito plays the role of messenger for the river dwellers.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How is the day, man?
Not too bad.
Is my body John around?
I'm washing some clothes.
Uh-huh. So, is Mr. John around?
Yes, Mr. John.
Well, my partner. What's up, man? Why, long time, man. Yeah, man. Why, long time, why?
Well, quite a while.
Why, good to see you again, man.
Nice to see you too, man.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
So what's up, man?
Well, not much.
Any report or any news that I need to know about the river?
Well, as I see it, kind of filthy, a bit dirty, you know.
Oh, well. We can remember one nice flood passed through this place.
I think about, December. Yeah. The last flood comes and we up on top of the bank. Almost get into my mom's house. About 8 inches to enter the house.
On top of the hill?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So that's why you guys build your house off of the thing, no?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a huge flood. That's a big one, man.
In this region, the rains and hurricanes are continually reshaping the landscape. So each expedition is a new adventure for Melito. Ed Bowles is a hydrographer specialized in river systems. He's been monitoring the ecosystem of Belize's rivers for the past 30 years. For him, the Sibun occupies a choice place among the rivers on account of its exceptional purity. He likes to keep a finger on the pulse of the river and capture its every mood.
I first came to Belize in 1980, before Belize was Belize. And over the years, I fell in love with Belize as I returned, and then by 1988, I found a way to move here. I was working to build a research center in the Mountain Pine Ridge. And ultimately, I moved from there to the university and to other jobs. And also, I was trying to escape the U.S. I was tired of paying my taxes that would go to promote a war industry, and I would rather come to a country which doesn't promote war.
So what are you up to?
Yeah, same old routine, man. How you doing?
So what's the river like up there?
Well, it's beautiful, man.
Nice.
Same,
nice.
you know, like always.
All right. Well, you got a healthy river right here too. You should check out those fish.
Nice, man.
Come then, I'll show you what I'm doing.
So, Did you do any sampling lately?
I'm about to get started.
Wow.
I just wanted to get a sketch of the area.
Okay.
Just for the notebook.
So how is the forest and the spiny bamboo and stuff? Is that still holding on, or?
It's still holding on, but it's thin, you know. There needs to be more trees coming in, but I see some young trees coming through.
All right.
So I think that we're going to see this area grow to full size in a few years.
So you think sometime we should be planting some trees on the side of the river?
I think it wouldn't hurt at all, and we can get some students involved in that.
All right. And evenly, I could even put the seeds together and got some trees going in my nursery.
All right.
For that.
Do that, and save some for us at the university too.
All right, definitely.
Now before the sun gets any lower.
All right, man.
And put a few rocks on the edge of that right there. I'm looking for that watershed that you took me to a few years back. Do you remember how to get there?
Yes, man.
You think you could take me again? Because I would love to get up there and do some sampling.
All right, definitely. We could definitely do that. So it's right around this area right here, man.
Okay.
It's a great spot, big waterfall, you know.
How soon can we go?
Tomorrow.
All right, let's do it.
We'll be there tomorrow.
Traveling together is a deep moment of rapport for these two men who share a fascination for the same river.
I feel so many emotions here. There's certainly a sense of freedom, of the ability just to kind of be yourself on the riverbank, but there's also something about a flowing water system that just massages the creative vibes in your body. It's the relaxation of the water and the incredible diversity of the fish and the wildlife associated with the river. In the limestone.
I don't know what heaven feels like, but this sure feels like heaven to me. And in me, when I'm at the small river, I'm always, you know, like, I'm so happy. You know, I don't even want to go back to my house. I just want to remain here and spend as much time at the river as I could. And man, you know, this river is just, I can't stay away from it. It's too special, you know. This is the trail that we're going to take to the waterfall, no? Nice moving stream, man.
Yes, man.
Just check that waterfall, man. It's beautiful, huh?
It is.
Isn't that great, man?
It's more beautiful than I remember.
Look how beautiful. I like to see those like mist coming out of there.
Oh, yes, man. There's many places like this magnificent waterfall that are undiscovered by most people. Belize, for such a small country, it has so many natural wonders. It takes a long time to see all of Belize. It's so spread out. Belize being part of the Central American Isthmus is a very important part of the movement of animals from the north and plants from the north and the south. This is where they meet. And so this is the second most diverse place in the world.
Wow, even better.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, Malito.
iguana up on the tree. Big iguana up on that tree yonder. I like iguanas. They're one of the best reptiles I ever met, you know, because I can't play with a crocodile like how I play with an iguana. The males are huge, and the female, they're much smaller, much softer, you know, and it's easier to play with. But the big males, too big, you know? You hold them, but it's like a big monster in your hand. I love playing with them, and the thing that amazed me is that tail. You know, that different color, that black and that orange tail. Oh man, it's like somebody painted it. First time I've seen an iguana, I was like scared of it. But again, I said, man, no, I shouldn't be scared of that. I see my brothers hold it, so I said, okay, well, it won't hurt me either. So I go and I hold it too. They don't bite, you know. Wow, that's a big one. A big iguana. Wow. Nice iguana up there. I'm gonna try and take him a shot. Hopefully I can hit that. Yeah. Yeah, very nice pet. I love iguanas. They're very cool. Really, the wild things should be harassing, like moving all the time. But this one, nah. You can pick him up anywhere, hold him like a baby, take a shot. You know, you could do anything with him. You could put him on your shoulder. Woo! And this is a male, by the way. Well, we could tell it's a male by this big bulge here. Yeah. Like it? Nice, huh? When I go out to town, I'm miserable. I see too much people, I'm miserable. I see my river and I see birds, I see everything, I'm happy. And in a way, in my life, that's what I dreamed of, to be a river keeper, to get on this river and have a good time and have a life. And the life that I'm looking for, I have right now. So I am glad and thankful for it. Yeah. My family is the one that actually get me in this by tagging me along. I have 5 big brothers. And my 5 big brothers, they're fishermen. They love the Saboon River. My dad is a farmer from the Saboon River. They show me how to fish. They show me how to catch an iguana. They show me how to catch an armadillo. And some of them show me even how to catch snakes. So it links up and drops right to me. I'm the last one of the family. Now, I guess I have to do my part. I pick this spot all the time, you know, because great spot and great place to fish. You know, you could just stand right here beside the campfire, throw your fishing line in there, and just catch a fish. And right down there, there's big tarpons, there's snapper, all kinds of sorts of fish down here. Yeah, man. For me, it's life. Life, I think, this river has given me more life than I think that I have. Because I've been through many things, you know, and I could be dead by now. Well, I call myself dead man. But you know what? The river said, no, I'm not ready for you yet. Go on, you got a mission to, you know, to accomplish, so I'll give you another chance. So man, from then, I love the river even more. If I could live 1,000 years, I'll be right here in this river. Never gonna change it. Yep.
This is the story of Melito and of an entire country, Belize, where the murmuring of the rivers is a message of peace to man.